Hey Taurus, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your fortnightly reading for July 16th to the 31st. If this is your first time to the channel, please do go ahead and check out the description box below where you're going to find links to my Facebook page and my website address, which has a little bit more information about the work that I do as an intuitive energy healer. You're also going to see a link to my Instagram page where I do the weekly quick reads, okay? So it's unique to Instagram. They're a weekly check-in of energies for each of the zodiacs, and they're a brief 5-minute video, and I post them every weekend in time for your Monday. On the channel, you're going to see fortnightly and monthly readings for all of the zodiacs. All time is fluid. Take only ever what resonates. You always follow your highest intuition and knowing. That is the purpose of my soul work and what I do with all of my clients. So I wanted to do something a little bit different for this fortnight. I'm doing what I call the retrograde classroom, okay? We are smack bang in retrograde season. It goes and flows all the way through till November. It kicked off in April with an eclipse cycle changeover, with eclipse windows. We've had quite the boot of cosmic energy for all of the zodiacs, okay? I'd like to do a reflective piece, if you like, for the final 2 weeks of July, because it's at this point in the timeline during retrograde season that many of the collective start to become aware of the deeper subconscious stuff coming up. So this is a reading that's going to be about what the retrograde season has been bringing up, teaching you, the growth and opportunities it's been trying to bring into your life, and more importantly, the healing wisdom and the letting go that it's encouraging you to do as well. So my reading style, I'll pick up on the collective Taurians that are connecting into this reading. And hopefully I can identify a soul message for healing, wisdom, integration, inspiration that may align with the Tauruses that I am picking up on. So let's take a look, Taurus. I have pulled 3 energy soul cards. In many ways, a lot of the Taurians I am connecting in with have been dealing with the impact and the weight that anxiety and worry has always perhaps played in your life, and how that has ultimately impacted your intuition, all right? The worry card talks about, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And we all do this, Taurus. We all sit there and think, if I do this and do that, and will that happen? And I feel like I'm having to carry the weight of not just the reality of my circumstances now, coupled with the weight of the history of the lessons I've learned in the past, but also the weight of the potential catastrophes that can happen in the future. It's quite a mental load, you know? It's so easy from a higher consciousness perspective to say, just focus on the now. Now is where we find our empowerment. The past, if we're too focused on that, it means we're living in depression. If we're too focused on the future, we're living in anxiety. And there is a lot of wisdom and truth to that. As human beings, our very human faculties, you know, it goes without saying, our society has really pushed us away from using our intuition. It's really pushed us towards this concept of success where we always have to be planning, building, growing, which naturally turns our minds towards the future. It also pushes us into the energy of fear. We need to make insurance decisions. We need to make safety and security decisions based on, you know, disastrous potential outcomes. You know, you can apply that everywhere in life. So we're taught to think this way. We're taught to embrace our consciousness in this way. So it's only a natural occurrence, Taurus, that many of us do connect into this energy of worry. We're worried about the future. We're worried about, should I have made that decision? We're worried about the outcome of this choice, which pushes us away from the opportunity of growth and risk, yeah? The retrograde season, as you work with the retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, as you work with the retrograde Saturn, is all about pushing outside of your comfort zones. They're not the only 2 retrogrades. We've had quite a lot, and we still have quite a lot going on. But those 2 primarily are about how we deal with the rules and boundaries we've been told to live by, Taurus. More importantly, Jupiter is about how we embrace the opportunity to expand and grow in our life. A lot of us have been taught to hold back. Fight, flight, or freeze, whatever the case may be. Do we say yes to life effortlessly, completely open to the vulnerability of failure? You know, worry is a very normal state of the reality of the lives that we all lead. But this retrograde season is really asking you, how much do you choose to keep investing in this? And how much does it ultimately get in the way of your relationship with your intuition? Because our mind is not the only tool that we have to best navigate and interpret the energy we are constantly picking up on a day-to-day basis, you know? If we limit ourselves to just our mind, then it's going to naturally reach overwhelm because we're putting so much pressure on it. You know, our heart has a wisdom. Our instinct has a very primal, animalistic ability to pick up on what is safe and what is not. Our intuition is a deeper, ancient wisdom. When we use all of them together, there's a lot more spreading of resources, if you like, rather than this imbalancedness that happens when we just focus on the mind. Okay? Many Taurians in practical ways might be tapping in away from the thoughts that are no longer good for them. The worry doesn't really change an outcome. It's a very simple message of the card. Sometimes we just have to act, do, and be able to trust ourselves enough to be able to respond in the moment if something does happen. And that's the key here. To choose that I'm just going to trust myself to respond and not react in the moment is about trust. And trust is about building intuition. And there's always going to be this push-pull between our mind and our intuition, okay? So it's that unique balancing of both to get us to that other layer, which requires a certain amount of surrender. Many Taurians I'm connecting into have been working with this energy of surrender and the trusting of the letting go, okay? Whether you are focused on the what has been, whether you are focused on the fear energy of what will be and hoping that you're making the right choices moving forward, you know, the energy of surrender is inviting you into freedom, freedom of the heart, freedom of the mind, Taurus. And in surrender, we free our mind. Okay, letting go of the past so that you can embrace some beautiful new beginnings underneath the deck. Okay, so take that however it resonates. Maybe many Taurians are really, because you guys are beautiful in the sense that you are very easygoing, you know, but when push comes to shove and you want that thing or someone's pushed a boundary, rightly so, patience levels, frustrations, and that fire just comes up in Taurians. So maybe some Taurians are really processing this energy of patience and that truly surrendering to the fact that everything happens exactly as it should and everything will happen exactly when it should. Okay, maybe this is completely just a very simple message. Retrograde season is about you really surrendering and releasing yourself from the confines you have chosen to tie yourself to each and every timeline you've ever been on, whether that is in love, whether that is in business, jobs, careers, major purchases, major decisions. I just suddenly got an impression that some Taurians are really wanting to make a big move, whether that's moving house, moving city, whatever the case may be. But maybe this worry energy has been really perplexing for you about how do I get to point C if I'm only at point A, and it feels super frustrating, you know, is what I want to say. Okay, let's see what the tarot wants to say for you, Taurus, all right? But I do see here you guys are coming into a whole new relationship with your intuition. It's a more high vibration too, guys. Like, make no mistake, that's a beautiful, vibrant purple third eye chakra color. But this lilac here is absolutely amazing. And what it does, it actually helps reset in surrendering. It helps us reset our core foundation, our core chakra, our primal basic fears that drive us, the foundations that drive us. There's a whole new way in which to see yourself, see your path, see your potential, Taurus. And the universe, your higher self, is asking you to really surrender to that during this retrograde season. I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning of my reading, this reading I'm wanting to call the retrograde classroom simply because the retrograde seasons happen every year, and the retrogrades, you know, if they are a wisdom teacher, each of the planets were their own energy essence, for example. Like we were in high school, we were all sitting in a classroom. If each of the planets were a substitute teacher that were coming in to teach us what they knew, each of them are different. They have something different to offer us uniquely, you know. And how I perceive that is going to be different. How you perceive that information, Taurus, based on our past, our beliefs, our fears, our upbringing, whatever the case may be. Here's the opportunity to learn. What are you going to do with it? How many people do we know? There's all sorts of us that are doing different things since high school. Many people, you know, go different ways. You know, that retrograde season is like that too. It comes in and offers this platter of stuff for us to grow, learn from, heal, disconnect from, take on board, ascend into, whatever the case may be. It is a wisdom classroom, and that's why it is so uncomfortable, because we experience cognitive dissonance. We experience a clashing of what our heart has always known to be true about love, trust, vulnerability, whatever the case may be. We experience that clashing of cognitive dissonance because it's a belief I've never really even thought of before, and I've always been taught that it's important to make safe choices and we don't follow our intuition or blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Many Taurians I'm connecting into are really refreshing their relationship with their intuition and coming to a higher vibrational understanding of what that means and how ultimately that is going to help any issues you have with patience, or truly understanding the beauty and synchronicity of divine order. And when we're really in that flow, Taurus, it is actually quite amazing how our consciousness, our experience of the mirror in our reality, it's like a matrix, yeah? I'm thinking something, I'm creating something, and there is the symbol, there is the sun. It's like our higher self. The environment, animals are speaking to us at all times. And there's this beautiful surrender. There's a high potential for a lot of the Taurians I'm connecting into, really connecting into the magic of that energy, that manifestation energy, and which disconnects us from the heavy energy of impatience, which is a control energy, to lift us higher into trust, to lift us higher into flow, to see that everything will. And when we're disconnected from impatience, it actually, things just happen quicker than we, you know, because you're not thinking of it. You're focused on other things. You're focused on your happiness. You're focused on, and then, oh, there we go. I got that phone call finally, whatever the case may be. Let's take a look, my lovely Taurians. And see what the retrograde energy is helping you process. A lot of fire energy, primarily, is what I want to say. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Impatience, but there's higher principles. Now, Taurus, you have shown up in your reading as your higher self. Underneath all of this, Taurus, your higher self wants you to be able to achieve what I've just explained earlier about really surrendering into this higher frequency of your relationship with your intuition, so that you can connect into the magic of flow. You can connect into the magic of your manifestation ability, your creative ability, okay, your intuitive ability, to orchestrate your life so that it actually navigates in a way that aligns to you rather than against you. When life is navigating, showing us that we feel like we're up against stuff, because I do see here in your tarot, it's your minor arcana stuff, okay? So it may be your 3D life, your mainstream life has shown you challenge after challenge. But I feel like looking at these cards, like the wisdom and the truth of your divinity underneath all of this is actually so much more potent than you're actually even aware of. Now that may mean something to you on some other level, maybe on subconscious levels. This retrograde season has really been calling to Taurians, like, you know that there is more to this thing called life. You know that there is more to your experience, your life experience, and that there's more for you to experience out there, despite the pains of the past, despite the challenges of the past. Like, there's more to my life than just this job that I go to, this routine I have. Whatever the case may be, maybe you're literally, I'm connecting you to Taurians that are in the middle of a career transition. Are you experiencing some ongoing niggling sense of dissatisfaction because you haven't really connected to soul on some level? And then you're getting really tired of playing this human, I don't know why I'm on this trajectory now, guys. I feel like I'm connecting into someone particular out there. Like, there's this niggling thing. Like you could even be happily married. You could be happily, like, there's nothing to complain about. You've got the house, you've got the 2.5 kids, the dog, the boat, the good job, but there's like something more to life. I feel really sad now. I'm gonna say I'm connecting into a certain Taurian that feels on a soul level disappointed with themselves for not fulfilling their soul path, not following their heart and making decisions that honor their heart's wisdom. And I'm going to say that this retrograde season, wow, this is so random. This is like a particular story. I know it's going to reach a heart out there. I know, Taurus, that you can't keep living the way you do. And yes, you're right. There is absolutely nothing to go. I feel really disconnected now, like from... Maybe you feel really disconnected. There's a part of you that you know is not here. Like you even enjoy going to sleep because that's where you feel like you're yourself. Like I don't even feel like I want to go back to my past. Like I'm not missing... Maybe that's been your journey, okay, for the last 5 years, 2 years in some ways, is thinking, do I need to go back to the past? Do I need to go back to a past person? Do I need to be myself from my youth? Not even wanting to fast forward in the future because there's a risk of me continuing this same disconnection from my soul if I keep going the way that I'm going. Like there is a deeper call here, Taurus, for someone that I'm connecting into. But it is now time for you to honor the relationship you have with your soul. Your soul is trying to embody, within your existence so that you can actually lead a soul-led life. Like surrender to this embodiment, surrender to the wisdom of your heart that's trying to come through. And make no mistake, my work, my channel is very much about being practically soulful. It is... we can be empaths, sensitives, intuitives. Does that mean as a mother of two that I'm going to go up and pack up and live at the top of a mountain and meditate all day? No, those children need to be fed. They are ingrained in a very mainstream world, routine. They go to school, they go to daycare, they have their friends and their things. And I need to make sure that I've got provisions to keep a roof over their head and make sure they have the things they need for extracurricular activities or whatever the case may be. Does that mean I'm dishonoring my soul path? No. I'm still imbuing and embodying that energy in my everyday reality. I am grounding down those higher principles into my mainstream life. And if a part of me needs to maintain a mainstream job, a very 3D routine in some way so that I can tick a box, because that's all life is. There are parts of us, like who I am as a woman is different to like the woman I am with my friends, with a lover, with a partner, with my kids. All different people. Just like in life, life is like a pie or a box, if you like, of all these different compartmentalized aspects of satisfaction. Okay? So to nurture my soul self is but one aspect. So as it is to nurture the part of me that is drawn to nurturing my health and building my career goals and the role that I play as a mother and my social life and fun life and romance. And there's many different aspects, multi-dimensional aspects of who we are. Like I really feel like I'm connecting into a Taurus that might be feeling disconnected from their human self, their human life, or really getting to a point where like, what is this all for? Why am I even bothering with this stuff that's so mainstream, humdrum, and it's not making me like... There's a part of you, Taurus, that's seeking a deeper sense of fulfillment, and maybe that fulfillment wasn't met in a relationship, maybe that wasn't met in a career, and maybe you got to an 8 or a 9 but you never quite got to the 10 out of 10. And all that comes down to is your connection to your soul. It is safe for you to ground that down into your everyday reality, to live that soulful life while still kicking mainstream goals, while still, buying things that you like just because you enjoy that. There's nothing bad about that. And we're never really stuck, I don't have to have a mortgage. I don't have to do my job. But if I choose to live the lifestyle I have and to have the house I do, then I'm still actively choosing. It is an empowered choice to make those choices. I don't have to live where I live. I can still live a lot more simply, which might mean I don't have a mortgage or have to pay rent or whatever the case may be. we're making these choices where we pressure ourselves, and that's what this world is about. I feel like I'm really going off on a particular tangent here for someone out there, so if that's not you, I'm sorry if it doesn't relate, but I feel this bigger energy wanting to be recognized here, where this dissatisfaction, this unfulfillment is simply put down to the fact that you haven't allowed yourself to surrender to allowing your soul to embody in this mainstream life that you're living, Taurus, okay? So if you are having relationship difficulties here, if you are having dissatisfaction in your career, I feel like it's deeper still. It's deep subconscious Pluto stuff happening for you. Alrighty, because underneath the deck, you've got the Ace of Cups, this new sense of a refresh to your emotional body, new love in your life. Like and even then, I feel like I'm connecting to a Taurus. That's like, I don't want to love the way I used to, because I know that there was something that wasn't quite right about that, or my beliefs, or my fears, or how I haven't authentically allowed myself to expose myself into vulnerability and trust. Like before you even allow yourself to love again, there's this methodical process that's been happening for many Taurians I'm connecting into, that was about you meeting the center of your confidence in your path. You're like knowing there's a very big difference in saying, I'm doing this because that's just what you do. You settle down when you're 25 and you get married when you're 30 and you have 2 kids. Or by the time you leave school, you go to uni and you get a job. And there's a very big difference between the energies of, I'm doing this because that's just what's done, or that is what I have to do, compared to, this is what I choose. This is what I want. So I'm going to ask you, Taurus, are you living the life you want? Do you have the relationship that you want? Are you working a job that you want? And if not, why not? This is about you meeting the fire of your divine confidence and assuredness, like this is, I know who I am and what I want. She gets what she wants. And it's not a selfish energy in that regard. It's just passionately knowing who we are at a very core level, and that every decision I'm making is aligning to my reason why. That's what I'm feeling here, Taurus. And there's a new relationship on offer that might be triggering these things within you, about you really asking yourself, who am I moving forward? What do I truly want? You know, but I feel there's also like this soulscape refresh, reset into Soul Temple before you even embark on a commitment again. And that can be committing to a new job, committing to a new path, a new beginning, a new relationship, whatever the case may be. There's a commitment here that sparks a divine fire within you. Okay? And that can even apply to an existing relationship, taking a relationship to the next level, all right? Because I do see here there is non-committal energy right next to. Now the Knight of Wands is here for a good time, not a long time. You know, he's very passionate. He brings the energy to the table, yes, and on the surface he looks like he's keen. But is he marriage material? Now apply this metaphorically however it resonates. Is this idea, this goal, the way you're living your life, is this the long term for you? And if it is about a connection, is this the connection for you? Or is it a temporary one that's just satisfying surface energy, if you like? Okay? Desire, passion, confidence, it's beautiful energy, but it's not sustainable. It doesn't last a long time. It's not necessarily earthy energy that is deeply grounded as a core value. It is who I am when I've got energy and I'm excited and I'm attracted. But there are many times in the morning where I wake up and feel like death because I've been up with the toddler for all night because he's been unwell. So it's temporary, it's fleeting energy, it's the one night stand energy, and that doesn't just have to pertain to sex and sexual attraction, but it certainly can be. Maybe there is a Taurus I'm connecting into that's really weighing up, settling down, and really settling down into married life. Like, before I make this commitment, I'm really tossing up these concepts as who I am, what I stand for, what I want moving forward, what life has taught me. This retrograde energy is probably bringing the idea of commitment and how I commit my energy, Taurus, for many of you to the table. And that can apply to love, that can apply to your path, the choices you make day in, day out. But I felt on deeper levels, subconscious levels, it was really any dissatisfaction you have ever had Whether it's about, I mean, I'm not saying that every relationship has been good that you've been in and you're not within your rights to feel dissatisfied. Like, it's more than that. It's that niggling doubt within you, that niggling sense of this is not enough to fulfill me when it comes to career, love, whatever the case. There's something deeper going on when it comes to your connection to you. Every time you go to connect, there's going to be that dissatisfaction because you have not connected to soul. You have not connected to self, to your deeper reason why. And there's a surrender, an invitation to surrender here. And I do see here how living on that other level can really entice worry and impatience and whatever the case may be. So soul is asked, surrender. Your soul is asking you to surrender to me, Taurus. And when you come into union with that part of you, you are able to harmonically bring into balance everything in your life. And it happens like crystal clear, where you see the connections that do not align to you. Friendships, acquaintances, love, career, everything. You'll see clearly what is a true essence and complementary to your nature and what is not. Because when we're living on the surface, when we haven't embodied a core truth, we can really partner with anyone and anything can still do the same old, but still not feeling that crux of this is my why, this is my person, this is my thing, this is my career. There's a lot of empaths energy around you, and maybe the last 2 years has taught you very much about how you have to come into boundaries. This energy of inviting boundaries in, and maybe you found yourself having to continually put boundaries down with other people. But I do again, Taurus, like your higher self has showed up in the reading. There's a deeper spiritual principle at play here. Every time you had to put down a boundary with others, I do want to offer the mirror and say, did you put down a boundary with yourself too? Now I'm covered in goosebumps. There's a humbling here where we're really connecting into something. It's like a core, Taurus. It doesn't even have to be a core wound. It's like a core thing that ultimately once touched, once pulled, once looked at, and we decide how to refresh and reset that and what to do about it, it actually fixes everything. Like you are transformed from the core, from a soul level. Like, this is the nature of the work that I do. I work with soul energy healing, what I call soul ascension healing. Excuse me, because you can work on the physical layer, you can work on the emotional layer, you can work on the thought layer. I work with the 5 bodies. You can even work on the energy layer, but at the deepest part of us, the truth of everything that houses it all together, that is the light that shines from the depths within, is the soul. And the soul doesn't have to be repaired per se. All that really needs to happen is it needs to be honored and recognized as a very big functional part of the multidimensional aspects of who we are. And when we invite it in, when we embody it, when we ground it down into our experience, it only enhances our experience and connection to our energy body. It only enhances and experiences our connection to our emotional body, our thought body, our physical body. Like physical presence of someone that embodies their authentic soul truth. You can feel it. As empaths, we know this, and we also know when we have to get into 3D mode and live a mainstream life. And you can feel it when we're flustered because our energy has taken aboard too much in this career, in this workplace, within this dynamic, this connection. You can feel the essence of soul in others, and you can also feel when it's not there. And that's what's missing, Taurus. I feel like you've been searching for that in many ways, and this retrograde season is really subconsciously trying to bring to your conscious awareness that is the essence you've missed when you've looked for it in career satisfaction, when you've looked for it in material satisfaction, when you've looked for it in friendship or romantic satisfaction. In many Taurians I'm picking up on is still feeling alone even when you're not. You can be in a house full of people, you can be in a long-term relationship and just not feeling a part of it because there's a part of you that you haven't allowed to be a part of you. Wowee. Oh, I feel like crying, love. Okay? This is about a change when it comes to loss and conflict. Okay, 5-5. 5 of Swords, 5 of Coins. It's about integrating the losses that actually make you feel conflicted. Maybe you feel this hole that needs to be filled is because something was taken, something was lost. And if only, you know, if only that didn't happen, I would be okay now. But would you? Would you? There's a time here to truly walk away from the losses, to walk away from conflict, and more importantly, the conflict we have inside, so that you can step into your highest element, Taurus. And that's what the retrograde season has been for you. Okay, no more juggling. What is it you will invest in? Oh, my darling, look. Walk into the light of the sun. That's what our soul is. It is blinding like the sun. It is life force. It brings life to all else, all other aspects of us. It brings life force into, it brings us back to our original essence of childhood. That is the truth of who you are, Taurus. You are a soul having a human experience. Invite that into your experience. That was so specific, guys. If that doesn't resonate, please do go ahead and check out your monthly and, of course, your weeklies on Instagram, Taurus. But I felt like I had to get that message out for a beautiful Taurus out there, wherever you are. Let's finish with a healing message. Now I feel like crying and giving you a cuddle. All right. From the Whispers of Healing, for my lovely Tauruses, what healing messages want to come up for you as we review retrograde season, sitting in the retrograde classroom, and integrate all these wisdoms that are trying to come through for us. Retrograde season spans April through to November, okay, Taurus? So take the pace at your own rate. Unconditional love. I feel like crying. Oh. You are lovable, you are amazing, and there is an opportunity for you to really return to that divine soul truth, okay? Unconditional love is number 42. 4 and 2 adds to 6, which is harmonic, balancing. There's a balancing here, Taurus, a balancing that needs to come into play about the truth of who you are on the inside, and reconnecting to that divine birthright that you have to be yourself, to experience divine love, to experience divine connection, growth, abundance, and genuine satisfaction each and every day. And I hope you have the bravery to make the choices you need to make when it comes to putting down boundaries within yourself, what you will surrender and say no more to, because you deserve love. More importantly, you deserve your own unconditional love, without exception, without condition. And when we experience that genuine love within self, we see the beautiful reflection of that love in all of our life. We have a deeper appreciation of the connections in our life, and everything that happened had to happen exactly as it did to get us to this level of wisdom, gratitude, appreciation. Life begins to mirror back to us our truth when we connect into that truth, Taurus. And if my truth is that I am genuinely grateful and that I am worthy and that I am connected to my soul, then I will see that mirrored in my whole life. Soul will speak to me every day and show that to me in the eyes of my children, in the laughter of my friends, in the connectivity I genuinely feel when I sit down to have a meal with family, in the warm embraces and the beautiful kisses, you know. Life will show you the truth of unconditional love if you choose to hold it, embrace it, embody it in yourself. Unconditional love, my friend, there's a lot of high frequency rainbow energy there. Right, I hope you got something out of that, my lovely Taurian. If so, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and by all means let your other empath, intuitive and sensitive friends know where to find the channel Indigo Ascension. I hope you've gotten something out of that. Until next time, Taurus, enjoy the final 2 weeks of July. Take care.